Caution, the Mark Gungor Show contains adult content intended for an adult audience. And, besides that, he's really weird. Welcome to the Mark Gungor Show with international marriage speaker and author of Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage, Mark Gungor. This is your source for practical, down-to-earth marriage advice without all the over-spiritualization or romantic nonsense. And now the host of the Mark Gungor Show, Mark Gungor.
Crowd goes wild with delirious joy. They've joined the Mark Gungor Show, the show that deals with all things concerning marriage. Indeed, I'm your host, the one, the only Mark Gungor. Joining me as always, the ever lovely and charming Diane Brierly, and of course, the amazing Philip James Gungor. Woo. Woo. Crowd goes mild.
Mild, ha.
Engineering the show is always very talented but eerily creepy, Timothy Robert Ray, pushing buttons, twisting knobs, and trying to stay awake during this incomprehensibly, immeasurably boring show. This is a show that handles your marital challenges, relational conundrums, and dating dilemmas that you can email us at askask@markgungor.com. You get to stay totally anonymous, so you can do it in total safety, anonymity. What have you got there today?
Okay, 4 thoughts that harm your marriage.
Okay.
Number 1, things are always so much better at home when my husband or wife isn't there. They say this tends to be a big one when spouses are separated or been away from each other for an extended amount of time, like in deployments and things like that.
Okay.
He says we must remember that we need each other. The husband and wife both have an important role to play in the family.
All right.
Harmful thought. It's better when you're not here with me.
No, I don't. Here's.
It's just different.
No, it's not that it's a harmful thought. It's a harmful thought pattern. If you keep thinking this way over and over and over again, people freak out and panic too much about stupid little thoughts that come flying in their mind. Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought, gee, life would be easier today if my spouse wasn't around? Yes. I mean, maybe people listening right now, they've never experienced that, but most people, yeah. You're with each other all the time. Every once in a while, it's like,
But you just don't act on it.
Well, just don't overreact. You don't have to freak out. Oh, I had this terrible thought. And like, here's a terrible thought. Things are better when my husband isn't around or my wife isn't around. I'm sure at times, virtually every couple has all kinds of crazy thoughts. If this is a continual pattern that you think over and rehearse in your mind over and over and over and over again, thinking, gee, I need to get rid of this person forever, now you got a problem.
And then choose to act on it.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
I just, a little reacting, because people tend to overreact.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh my gosh, I thought that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like one lady, I thought about the laundry when we were having sex. Yeah. I must not love my husband anymore because I thought, no, it's just obviously laundry was on your mind. So what? Mm-hmm. People think all kinds of crazy things. People have got to get free of this insanity that your thoughts and your emotions define who you are. They do not. My faith defines who I am. God's word defines who I am. What my brain throws around here, there, and the other is up for debate at any given time. Now, I should discipline my mind. I should renew my mind. I should intentionally think on things that are positive and not negative. But man, I'm not going to react and fall apart because every time my brain goes crazy to think something terrible. Like, gee, strangling Diane. Now there's a thought one shouldn't have. If I have
you just
thought,
shouldn't act on it.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm sorry. You use that example all the time. It must be something that you frequently think of.
I have this dream.
Do you wake up like this?
I wake up like this with my hands just...
I'm beginning to get a complex about this, that this is consistently what you say.
Your wife,
speaking of things in your dreams, she wasn't strangling me, but she was sitting there. I was watching the Sunday night football game or something, and all of a sudden I look over, and she's asleep, and she's just doing this. And I look over at her, and I wake her up. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, what? I'm like, are you, painting a fence or something? Like, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. she goes back to sleep.
And you never found out what she was doing.
The next day she thought, she's like, I don't know, maybe I remember something about sunlight and I was like hitting the dust in the sun. I don't know. I think she was painting a fence.
She was painting a fence.
Does she paint like that? She probably would. Chrissy, she's such a girl. You know? She'd be painting.
She's like, why would I be painting a fence?
Maybe she was dancing or doing a dancing class or something like that.
Maybe she's dancing.
Anyway, you know how many people get really, really, really upset because they have a bad dream about something inappropriate, you know, like, I don't want to say.
I know, but sometimes, my gosh, you wake up and it's like, oh, where did that come from?
I've
had like a whole bad day because of something I woke up from.
Okay, for example, let's say I'm dreaming about strangling Diane.
Stop! I don't like this example. Strangle Nancy.
Oh, you don't want to strangle Nancy. That would just be terrible.
You don't want to strangle.
He wants to strangle me.
You realize the more you protest, the more we persecute.
You realize the more
I love it. She plays right into our ploy. So I wake up. I've been strangling Diane all night long. And I say, gee, I feel really bad about it. You know, I just wake up and go, ugh, and just move on. There are people literally, they'll be depressed and feel bad and horrible because of a dream they had or a thought they had. I just think.
Well, yeah, but sometimes
need to
you
chill.
just can't shake it. You've had that.
Okay, if I dream every
honestly.
night about killing you, yeah, I probably have a problem.
I mean, it's not like I always walk around from dreams, but there have been on occasion some dreams that are so, I can't shake it. It's like all day long. Ooh, keeps
All
going
I'm
back.
saying is thoughts that harm your marriage. Everybody thinks a lot of these things at times, and it's not that you have the thought, it's that you continue to live in those thoughts. All right, so number one, a bad thought. Life is better without my spouse.
Number two, my spouse would be better off without me. Now that's probably true.
Well, come on. No one's had that thought?
Yes.
I'm sure my wife.
Yes.
Every time her life would be a lot better.
Well, you know what?
Actually, if I dropped over dead, I always tell her life would be really good because I got a lot of life insurance on
all of
me.
us would be so much better, let's be honest. Just be careful when you're walking on the curb when the bus is coming.
I have to be careful. I have to sleep with one eye open with all that life insurance. In case.
What I really don't like, because I have heard this recently in several cases where the one spouse will say, oh, you're better off without me, and that's the excuse they're using when they're divorcing.
Oh, yeah, they're putting it on them.
Yes.
This is better for you that I act like a pig.
I want you to have a happy life, but I want you to be happy, so I'm leaving you.
All right, okay.
Such a selfless act.
Number three.
It is selfless.
Is that kind of like...
So selfless.
So selfless. I'm going to go get a new girlfriend because you'll
Titanic?
be better.
Yes. Leonardo DiCaprio?
What about him?
Because he floats away? Or he dies?
He dies because
but
he
that
gives
wasn't
her
a selfless act? I don't remember.
I guess there was room on the plank for both of them, but... Number three. My marriage will never
These are
get
the questions
better.
that our listeners have.
I'm sure they do.
I'm doing this out of a selfless act.
Yes,
sure you
I
are.
believe that.
Okay.
So a thought, my marriage will never get better.
It can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, they say.
Yeah, if you keep living in that thought, but there's times where you think...
Oh my gosh, it's never going to...
But you know what? Even if it doesn't, so what? You know, I was telling a group the other day, marriage was not designed to make you happy. It wasn't. I think the reason people are so miserable in their marriages is because they think it's supposed to be something that it's not. I truly believe that.
Oh, I totally believe
Absolutely believe that. And that's why they're so stinking miserable. And number four.
I could find someone so much better for me than my spouse.
Now, this one, I just recently had a lady come up to me and say, you know, truth is, now they've been married for like 30 years or whatever. And why she felt obligated to share this thought. She says, you know, if I had to get married again, I wouldn't marry my husband. You know what? Why are you even having those thoughts? Everybody changes.
Because you can't even act that out. So why do you think such things?
I don't know. You know,
Regret.
I don't know. It's just, actually, people change over time. Yeah. Well, I'm a different person now. Now, the person I am now at 52 versus the one I was at 18, I would probably make a different choice now.
You're not 52.
Shut up, woman. I'm just saying, as an example, someone would say.
Yes.
Okay.
Probably not. That's true for most people.
That's what I'm saying. So what?
But that's who you married. Shut up.
She acted like this was a big problem for her. I wouldn't marry my husband now.
No.
Well, that's not the question.
No.
You married him then. He's your husband. Move on.
Once you know he picks his nose and he farts and, he snores, you probably wouldn't have married him.
Unlike myself, the perfect man, the windless man, the man without wind. All right, so much for all that. We'll come back with your thoughts, which can actually be more disturbing than these, on your emails right after this.
Mark Gungor. Yeah, we've got an app for that. Download your free Mark Gungor app today.
Here to talk to you about our Transition 1 program during this break. In Green Bay, we have started a new program called Transition 1. It's a gap year program for young people coming out of high school, taking off a year to put God first in their lives before they go running off to college. The Bible says, seek first the kingdom of God. Christians are terrible at this. We say we love Jesus, but as parents, we tell them, make sure you get this and make sure you have money. And then that's why so many people encourage their kids not to get married and wait. Because what we put first more than anything is the almighty dollar. And it is a mistake. It is a disaster. Having said all that, look, take time and put God first in your young people's life. Encourage them. Take a year off. Good grief. We have a huge failure rate of young people who leave high school and go into college and lose their faith, right? They give up on their faith, get caught in all kinds of stuff, sexual immorality and stuff. Why? Because they've never really had a chance to put their faith into action. All they're doing is living off your parents' faith and you keeping them busy in youth groups and stuff like that. They've never really had to stand on their own. A gap year program. There's many of them around the country, but we've just started our own. And these are popping up because people are realizing we've got a problem here. Slow down a bit. Right out of high school, put God first. Take 1 year of your academic year. Put God first in your life. In our program, we emphasize, while it's biblical, it's not a Bible school, but it's about how to succeed in life, how to make choices, how to serve, what life is really about, putting God first in your life. It's for 6 months, and then the last 3 months they serve overseas in some safe place, but it's someplace overseas where they get a chance to really see how people in other parts of the world, third world countries and whatnot, live. And you get a chance to serve and sweat and be uncomfortable, and there's not a McDonald's everywhere, and you can't be texting every 5 seconds. This is a good experience for your kids. They come back from this 1 year program. Their lives are forever changed. Their priorities are set. Now they can go forward with the rest of their lives. Put God first in your life. Check it out. Transition1.org. Transition1.org.
Hot-head blonde in a tricked out Ford, red round the lights, red on the hood.
Music of Jimmy Bratcher. Check out his music at jimmybratcher.com. I guess he's working on a new album.
He is?
Correct? He wants to actually play some keyboards on it.
Really?
Which will make it amazing!
Of course it will.
Because I'm amazing!
Of course you
All
are.
right, Mark Gungor Show answering your emails. What have you got?
My husband and I have been married for 6.5 years. Every time I talk about starting a family, he shuts down. He says he doesn't want to have kids because he doesn't like them. Before we got married, that's probably a good idea not to have them if he doesn't like them, but nonetheless, before we got married, I said I wanted 3 and he only wanted 1, so we compromised at 2. So apparently they had the discussion.
Okay.
Now he says none. I have tried to be patient with him and have prayed to God to change his heart or change mine if kids are not in his will. I can't get rid of my desire to be a mother. I could never leave him, but I can't imagine life without kids. Am I tolerating bad behavior or do I need to be patient? I've suggested counseling, but he refuses to go and says it's a waste of money because he knows what the counselor will say. What should I do?
You need to stop. That's bad behaving people never want to get counseling because they know they're going to get slammed. What should you do? I don't know. How important is it to you? I would push the issue. I would. Listen, this is a promise you made. We agreed on this. I want to have most women who get married want to have children. The vast
especially
majority.
Because he said that he would.
And it's not even close. I mean, very few women get married. There's a few who get married. They don't want to have children. Okay, fine. But that's not the case. All right? I would make his life rather miserable. Personally, I know people get upset about it. They think, well, you should pray and fast and dance in circles and sing songs. Look, you want to do it? Fine. Me, there would be hell to pay. At the worst case situation, say, look, if we're not going to be a family, then let's not be a family. I'm going to go live with my mom, and when you want to be a family, let me know. I know people get upset about that. Look, I'm totally against divorce. I really am. Anybody knows me knows I'm against divorce for a variety of reasons, and particularly scriptural reasons. The Bible condemns divorce. It does not, however, condemn separation. So I don't have a problem with couples separating. It doesn't mean you can go date somebody else or marry anybody else. It's just that as long as he's there, I know what he wants. He wants you to be a lover to him. I bet he still wants to have sex. What do you think? I'll bet he does. He likes her maintaining the home and whatever, cleaning and cooking, whatever part of the partnership she brings. I bet you he likes all that. What I would do is I'd take it all away from him. I would. I know people don't like that answer. That's my answer. I wouldn't tolerate it. I just wouldn't tolerate it. I think people get in horrible situations because they allow it. It's just that simple. You don't have to be mean and nasty about it, but I would really... Don't you think it really becomes an issue at this point when he comes home and she's not there?
Sure.
And she says, look, you promised me children, and now you're not giving me children. This is a problem. When you want to start honoring your end of the deal, let me know. You don't think now it's not going to be a big deal to him? I promise you, within hours, I guarantee you, or 3 times your money back, I guarantee you, he will fold. He will fold. He will call and say, okay. Okay. He doesn't want her gone. He likes her. I'm sure he loves her. All the wonderful benefits that she brings into his life. I'm sure he likes all of that.
If he really hates children and she convinces him to have a baby, and he really hates that kid.
He doesn't hate him.
It's different. I don't like children.
You like your own.
Don't like other people's children. Most people don't like other people's children. That's what it is. Very few
It's hard to gauge on somebody else's children.
Most people, it's not even close. Once they have a child, would give up everything for that child. Mm-hmm. They would lay down their lives for that child. And, he's just being selfish. I don't like children. Well, he probably doesn't. Everybody else's children.
Yeah. I know a lot of people who don't like kids, but they love their own.
I know. By and large, I think that's most people don't really care for other people's children.
Now, I like
other people's children, but I like children in general.
I'm going to dredge up your past, even though
I don't
we're
have
not
a past.
supposed to do that.
Actually, let's take a break before we start dredging. Okay. Maybe I can talk her out of it during the break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Attend Mark's Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage event. Visit laughyourway.com for upcoming dates and locations.
We tried our best and we made a mess of the thing that they call love.
Back on the Mark Gungor Show, talking about making a mess of things. Here's this lady who writes that her husband promised her children to get married 6 years into it. He still refuses to have children. And what should she do about it? And people will tell her, be patient and wait. And here's the thing. At some point, you can't have any more children. Tick-tock, tick-tock. How old is she?
Didn't say.
If she's anywhere near 30 and she's going to keep waiting, she's getting a place where she won't have any children. Look, you go into a marriage, someone promises ABC, yes, I promise, ABC, and ABC is important to you, and you agree, okay, we're going to do life because you said ABC, and you get together, and they jerk you back and don't give you ABC, I think you move out. That's what I think. No one said divorce. I'm just talking separation. The power of separation. You have no idea how many people's marriages are saved because of separation. Not just because of what I say. And our testimonies are multiple of people who said they did this and it saved their marriage. But I ran into a lady this last weekend at a conference. The guy told me, she moved out at one point. Boy, I jerked the slack out of me. And we haven't had a problem ever. I never had that problem anymore. Because she wasn't going to tolerate this nonsense. He lied to you. Now, you can stay there and have your heart broken and be miserable for the next 50 years and still take care of him. That's the weird thing. She'll stay there and still take care of him, still having sex with him and still helping him out. Goodness gracious. I promise you, he comes home, you're not there, he calls you in a panic. Where are you? I said, look, you lied to me. You said you were going to give me a family. You're not giving me a family. If you're not going to give me a family, I'm going to stay with my mom, No divorce, no nothing. Just when you let me know you want to honor your part of the deal, let me know. I promise you. It'll be within hours. He will cave. He will fold. I'm sure of it. There's no question in my mind. But does she have the guts to do it? Probably not. All right. Now, so you were going to dredge up my past because you found out my parole record or something.
No.
I don't know.
On this subject, in past shows when we have answered this, you have said...
answers?
Yes, you have said...
There's a shock.
Sorry. Okay, focus, Diane. You have said that why doesn't she just get pregnant? If she's on birth control, if she's doing whatever, why doesn't she just get pregnant? just to have the baby.
That's the other
thing. Do you still stand by that piece of advice?
Well, why is she obligated to take birth control pills? People would have a fit about that.
Yes.
They're married. He promised her children. She's the one taking it. Unless he's using a condom all the time, which that's got a bite.
There's
I don't know
a
what
thing
they're
called
doing.
a stick pin.
A stick
So
pin.
she'll get at his
He
lie
just-
with another lie?
Put a hole in it if he's using
Oh, yeah, I
condoms.
know. Personally, I would just stop taking the birth control pill. Some people say it's horrible. Well, then move out.
It's horrible.
Look, here's the thing. Going out, that's horrible. Doing this, what people will say to her is just be patient and just wait and just cry and go to everybody and have them, pray for yourself, and nothing's going to change. I'm telling you.
But they're not saying it's horrible that he won't do this.
No, I'm just going to say, people, they want results without confrontation. That's my issue. You cannot. People who have great marriages get there because of confrontation. Confrontation is a good thing. This is how you determine the rules in the relationship. Just wrote a book about the rules. Check out the book about the rules. You need to go on. The battle over the rules. Get that book. Should just send her that book. For heaven's sakes.
I can send her the link.
Everybody who has a great marriage determines who can do what, when, and where because they've wrestled these issues out. But what people want, and churches advocate and stuff like that, is that they resolve these issues without any confrontation. Don't fight. Know this. Everyone just wait. And I'm telling you, things do not change. If there was testimonies of lots of people whose lives were changed because they waited and did all this other stuff, you sign me up, man. I'm all for end results. But the reality is, it doesn't work. You're saying God doesn't answer prayer? God answers prayer, but I mean, at some point, there's a thing called free will. Okay? You can't just make somebody else do something. You know how many people have prayed, God changed my spouse?
Well, she was saying, should I
people
pray
who prayed
to change my heart?
How many people have gotten that? Because God won't force himself on anybody. Now, in some situations, God will bring pressure on someone and eventually their heart will be changed, that kind of thing. I get that. But look, what she wants is an answer without confrontation. And I'm telling you, she's not going to get it. Enough of this. Move on. What else you got?
Okay. Are you ready for a money question, or are we doing marriage questions still? Do you want money?
No.
No.
Not yet. We'll come back after. We'll do money after.
Okay, do another marriage question. Okay. She says, what do men look for in a wife or future spouse? I know this is a very broad question, and whatever floats your boat may not be applicable to everyone. I'm just interested on your thoughts from what all of the men you have talked to over the years. What do men look for in a wife or future spouse?
No, she answered her own question. It's so broad, it's an absurd question.
Different people look for different
things. In generally, the broadest thing, the right physical parts. That's about as broad. The most thing that all men look for in a wife is a woman.
As long as she's of the female variety.
As long as she has, this, that, and the other. That's so broad. I don't know what's the point of a question.
What do men?
I
I don't
If
know.
you had two ladies that looked exactly the same, what would draw you to one more than another?
Well, probably personality or something else. Who knows how nice are they?
There you go.
One's
See,
smart.
Phil's
But that's not
thoughtful.
what all men are looking
I
for.
went on a date with a
Personality.
twin once.
You did? A twin? Really? How do you know it was the right twin?
I don't.
It could have been the other twin.
I had to take their word.
Diane is a twin.
I am.
That's right.
Identical
That-
twin.
but
One
you
of
don't
them's
look
an evil
anything like
twin.
your twin, right?
I can't imagine which one might be the evil twin. It's probably Diane. She's the evil twin.
Keep it up, Buster.
So you guys never mess with people's heads? Swap? Really? See, I would think it'd be so much fun just to mess with people's heads. But I suppose a twin grows up wanting their own identity. So they don't,
Oh, you got that right.
they don't want to play into that game.
You got that right.
But being a twisted soul that I am, oh my goodness, would that be fun?
No,
We'd go to
no.
different classes. We would mess
No,
with
you
people's
wouldn't.
heads.
Not if you grew up that way. No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I would. I would. Yes, I would. No, I wouldn't. Yes, you would. Yes, I would. No,
I know you are, but what am I?
Maybe you would, but your twin wouldn't.
Yeah, right. There you go.
My twin wouldn't, but I would. Let's argue about this for 20 minutes. Yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah.
Everybody thinks they know what it's like to be
I
a
guess
twin.
personality, what likes, dislikes, but in general, what do all men look for? I look someone who makes them happy, I guess. That
You just said marriage isn't about making you
it's
happy.
not about making you, but I mean, the marriage itself is someone they like being around. For example, person number one, I don't know, makes me vomit. I probably would pass on that. The other person, gee, I like being around this person. I would, but who knows what that is for different people? I'm not sure what the point of the question is. What do you think the point of the question is?
I don't know. What do men look for?
Because she's probably trying to make herself attractive and
Oh,
available.
to everybody else.
What can I work on? What can I do?
Okay, if that's the thing, here's my answer. Don't try to make yourself attractive to all men. Make yourself attractive to one or two that you really like. Focus on that, all right? We'll be back with your money questions right after this.
Caution, The Mark Gungor Show contains adult content intended for an adult audience.
We're back on the Mark Gungor Show, talking about money. Money. What money question do you have today?
Okay, she says, I was raised in a family where once my parents had kids, my dad allowed my mom to quit her job and stay home and take care of us kids.
Start again. When's my what?
Sorry?
Start again.
I was raised in a family where once my parents had kids,
The
kids came along, then dad allowed her to quit her job and be a stay-at-home mom. And then once the kids
Dad
were in
allowed
school...
her. I guess I was struggling over that. Okay.
Then she went back to work and helped out with the finances again after the kids were grown.
A lot of couples do that. Yes, that's very normal. Okay.
They always also had a shared bank account. Okay. Now, my husband was raised in a divorced family, so he saw his mom at work all day long providing for him and herself, and he was put into daycare. His dad was bitter about the divorce and preached to his son, my husband, how to never trust women with your money and to keep it to yourself and protect it so she can't ever get at it.
Now, when did she become aware of this?
I didn't ask her that.
Okay.
She
But
says-
she's aware that his father told him never trust a woman with money.
With money.
Okay.
You want to know if she knew that before she married
that's
them
a
or after?
huge deal. I mean, when did you become aware of that? If you became aware of this before you got married, then what the heck? Why'd you keep going through with the marriage? Now, maybe she found
My
out
guess
after.
is she did not, because most people do not ask those questions.
Dude, anybody ever go to pre-marriage counseling? I never did. Nobody didn't do that in those days.
I did.
Did you? You did? Mm-hmm. Did they talk about money?
Yes, I think that was our highest potential for struggle.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that neither of us really... We were married young, so we didn't have plans or thoughts.
You didn't have money.
Yeah. So they thought, well, you don't have that figured out, so that's likely to be a stressor.
Was it a stressor?
I don't know. We approached premarital counseling, I think, how most people do.
No. Was
what
it a
we needed
stressor
to
in your
do.
marriage?
I mean, no. I mean, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's clear. Yes, no. Like talking to Diane. I got two of them
I
over
don't
here
feel like
now.
I have too many major stressors, so it's kind of like... But yeah, yes, to the test's point, we did have to sit and figure that out together.
Okay. All right, so what's her question?
Okay, she says, now that we're married, he doesn't want anything to do with sharing an account. He won't let me stay home with our children. Everything is split 50-50. I feel like a roommate almost.
He won't let me stay home with my children. There's a few really strange things going on here. Okay, go ahead.
She says, I feel like a roommate, and he almost said if I can't keep up my half of the bills, I should take the girls and go back to my family.
My goodness gracious.
But now here comes the next statement.
All right, wait a minute.
No.
What?
You need to hear the next statement
Okay.
before you wait a minute
Okay.
me. He is very loving towards me otherwise. But when it comes to money, that's a different story.
It's like these people write and say, my husband beats me, looks at porn, texts other women and stuff, but he's a godly man.
Well, she
he's a
says
good
he's
man.
very loving outside the money realm, that he's a good
A
loving
man who says, if you don't like the money thing, take your kids and go move in with your family. This man is never loving. That's absurd. This lady's a little dysfunctional.
She says she's not sure what to do except to pray about it.
Well, good grief. What would you do in a situation like that? I'm just
In
curious.
the first place, I would have asked. I'm guessing that they didn't have the discussion.
The money
If
talk.
I knew that you were raised by somebody that said, my dad told me never trust a woman with the money, I wouldn't marry that person.
My goodness. Did she know? I think that's huge.
But
if
I
she knew
don't
that or
think
not.
she knew it. I'm guessing that she didn't know it.
My guess is she probably did. But
No, because they never talk about it.
All right. So
they
now
don't talk about
so
it.
she finds out that he's a really tightwad, doesn't want to
Because
share
she
anything,
said
and that's
that
when she finds out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why would she know? When you're dating,
All
he's
right, I'll buy
probably
that.
courting her. He's spending money on her. He's taking her places. He's being nice to her and loving in all the ways that she says he is. So there was no opportunity for her to see this side of it, and they didn't talk about it.
All right. So what would you do?
So now what do you do?
What did he tell her? Move out? What was the circumstances to move out?
Said if she can't keep up with her half of the bills,
Her half of the
if I
bills.
can't keep up with my half of the bills, I should take the girls and go back to my family.
Is that even remotely insensitive? Remotely insulting? Am I imagining things?
You know what I would do?
I cannot imagine.
I would take my girls and go back to my folks.
exactly
and
what I
I
would
would take
do.
all of his money.
What it sounds like is there was a big argument, and you're missing 98% of what really went on. And
This
there
is
was
possible.
one
Yeah.
statement
And
that
he
was
said that.
made
That could-
out
okay.
of frustration.
Very
That's a
good,
good point.
Phil.
She's
Very
bringing
good,
up.
Phil.
Very
Phil, not
good
the
done.
reactionary
So
at the
that's
table.
the question. See, we're not talking to these people. We can only react.
Yeah.
She makes it sound like that. If this is what his standard, if this is what he says, you have to do this all the time or get out. Or if he just said that once in an argument, that's a different thing. Then you blow off the argument. Don't get literal on every little thing he says. If in fact his stand is if you're not going to hold up your end, get out and take the kids and get out and go home. I'd take the kids and get out and go home, and file for separation and have a judge come in and take half his money.
That's exactly right.
That's exactly what I do. Look, I don't know why these people tolerate these things. I think people tolerate horrible situations, and that's why you have the horrible situations. I do, honestly. Well, you get a horrible situation because people are selfish, but it happens because you allow it. And without getting that whole thing, let's talk about the money part of it. What is your take on couples having separate bank accounts? Phil, any thoughts?
We have separate bank accounts.
Okay.
But both of us have access to them. All
right. Is the problem separate bank accounts?
It's
in
the
and of
thought
itself?
behind the bank accounts.
Is
It's
that-
not the separate accounts that's the problem.
I said, my money is my money,
It's
your
the
money is your
intention
money.
behind it.
You can't tell me what to do. They're not on the same page.
Right.
It's like, listen, people, in a marriage think of it as in a business sense. A business is, if you have a partnership, it's a partnership. You need two people to make the thing work. You can't have a successful business where you have partner A who tells partner B, you can't know anything about what's going on over here. Mm-hmm. That's not a partnership. It can't function that way.
No.
The business would fail. A marriage, which is, legally, marriage is a partnership. It is a business partnership. When you get together and you're going through a divorce, they're not discussing what's in your heart or anything. They don't care about that stuff. It all boils down to a legal status. What assets? Who owns this? Who's going to pay for this? It's like a business deal. It's like a business deal that's gone bad, and a judge has to come in and figure out what to do with the money. The only other thing would be children, which is outside of a realm of a business thing. But a lot of it is just the money. That's what the whole legal process of separating and divorce is all about. You can't possibly have a successful business if our CFO, who handles our money, Rob at Laugh Your Way, says to me, I asked him about how the finances are going. He says, that's none of your business. And it's not even a partnership. I own the business.
Yeah.
But I just said, can you imagine? Let's say he was a partner. Let's say he owned part of the business, and I'm not going to tell you. You pay your end of the deal.
You pay your bills and I'll pay mine. And
I mean, that's insane. That's good. So people have this big argument about separate accounts. We have separate accounts, but we're always on the same page. We never have these problems.
It's the intent behind the two accounts.
Yeah.
You can have one account and still have one person be in the money Nazi. It doesn't matter that it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. So I don't know. I think if you're going to have a successful marriage, everybody's got to get on the same page. If they're literally on that, if his idea of the partnership is, I'm going to take this half stuff, you got to take this half stuff, and if you can't hold, who would say to their wives, unless he's just really mad in one argument like Phil says, if you don't hold up your end, get the kids and move in with your family. To be honest with you, and I'm not for reacting over phrases people say, but on a phrase like that, man, I'd get up and move out. I'd call him on his bluff.
Okay.
Well, yeah, just to teach him.
Oh, just to teach him a lesson. Don't you
was a
ever.
line.
That was a line.
That was a line you cannot cross. The fact that you're still home and didn't move out, even with, and I'll concede, not reacting to one, but that's a pretty heavy statement. Someone says to me, hey, you're not paying your end of the bills. If you can't keep up with it, get the kids and move into your family. I would just look at him and say, okay. And when he comes home tomorrow, you're not there. His life is about to be. Here's the thing. People that are that obsessed about money, he knows that if this goes to separation, which is not divorce, but it's practically the same thing as divorce, legally speaking, you still go to court and you do all this stuff. He's going to realize it's going to cost him a lot of money. People who love money, if your husband's really obsessed about money, pushing you out is not his answer for money. You guys have got to get on the same page. And if he won't go in for counseling, you guys can't get in counseling, you force it. Just like in a business deal, you cannot operate. If you people at home, listen to me right now, and you're having this problem, You cannot function. A business cannot function with two people at war about where the money and stuff goes. It just doesn't work. I would force the issue. I would force the counseling. If you needed to, I would move out and go back and live with mom. I would do whatever it takes to force the issue. You have to get on the same page with this. But I'm talking to a wall because these people won't do it. The vast majority of these women who have jerk husbands like this, who make comments like that, won't ever confront him.
Well, you never know because we get the emails, so maybe she
It's
will.
a small
get the emails
percentage.
on occasion.
I think it's a small percentage. Look, I've had him in Phil's office. He knows. You sit and you talk to these people. You need to stand up. Well, I can't.
I can't.
I can't. I can't. Well, try this. Well, I can't do that. Well, try I can't. Well, then you're going to stay where you're at. Well, I don't want that. I don't know. They're looking for magic. They're looking for sprinkled pixie dust. Someone will come along and sprinkle pixie dust into their brains and get some kind of change. Again, without conflict, you can't get resolution. These people don't want conflicts. They just want the resolution. I promise. So far, we've had emails today. Here's my problem. But they don't want you to
fix?
They want the fix. They don't want the conflict. And I'm telling you, people, and everybody who has a good marriage knows exactly what I'm saying. You get to the resolution as a result of confrontation in conflict. Nobody's shooting each other like you want to shoot Diane or something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about conflict where there's resolution. If I'm in a partnership with someone, there'd be a big conflict until we come to a resolution about how we're going to move forward financially. You cannot function this way. And again, any man who would say that to his wife, if you don't like what I'm saying about finances, you get out with the kids. That's exactly what I would do and force his world and bring him to his knees until he comes to some kind of resolution. You need to get family, you need to get friends, pastors, whatever involved. This kind of situation is unacceptable. And as long as you take it, if she does this, she's going to be miserable for the rest of her life living with this man.
Mm-hmm.
Either
I mean,
fix
if she
it,
stays in it and doesn't.
if she stays in it.
And doesn't
Well, and here's
do
the funny thing.
anything.
As much as these people don't want to separate and do what I'm saying,
They'll end up doing it
eventually
anyway.
she'll divorce his butt down the line anyway. And now it's too late. If people would have the confrontation early, they could save their marriage. But they wait till it gets so bad, then they divorce them and nobody can fix anything. You need to do it early on. Enough of this. We'll be back with your dating questions. A little nicer after this.
Have a marriage dilemma? Email your questions to ask@markgungor.com, and Mark can answer them during one of our shows.
Start the music, play this song,
La la la.
and we'll dance together all night long.
The music of Michael O'Brien as we move into our dating questions, the idealism, the warm, the fuzzies of dating. My dear girl.
This is actually a dating question from parents about their kids' dating
Okay.
situation. Okay. Our daughter has recently become engaged. Her fiance went from an easygoing kid to one who displays control, anger, and has been disrespectful to us as parents. Our daughter defends him and has an excuse for his actions, and so does he. Our first red flag was when he wanted to combine their bank accounts a week after the engagement. My husband and I said absolutely not. Another red
Why
flag.
not? Well, if you're going to be one and you're going to, why wouldn't you? It just came right after the last segment.
Yes.
People getting on the same page financially. This is their version of getting on the same page financially. Again, we are not one of these people who say you should all have the same bank account. I don't have a problem with people having different bank accounts as long as the rules are clear and everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
If their version of this is, okay, let's do this, why would they care?
I don't know. If you listen to the rest of the email,
Okay, go
if you
on.
might want to listen. Another flag was when he told us that they were to make all of the plans and decisions for the wedding. We could have input, but they would have the final say. So my husband made some suggestions to my daughter, and the whole time he sat there rocking in his chair, ticked off. We were questioning about their decisions. I told him as a mother, I had always wanted to help plan my daughter's wedding. He informed me that he was going to be her husband and that they were going to plan it. He tells our daughter that she is a people pleaser and he is protecting her from doing things that she doesn't want to do. He got angry because we wouldn't let him help pick out our daughter's apartment. He even contacted his pastor and our pastor.
He got mad because they wouldn't what?
They wouldn't let him. Well, he got angry because we wouldn't let him help pick out the daughter's apartment.
Well, who's going to pick out the daughter's apartment?
Well, the parents wanted to do it with her.
All right.
He even contacted his parents his pastor and our pastor to complain about it, stating that it's his right as her fiance. What rights do fiancés have? Apparently, we don't have rights as parents because he's in charge of her life now. When we gave him permission to marry our daughter, what did we give him permission to? Any help would be appreciated.
All right. I appreciate that you listen to the show, and I'm sure you're very sweet people. Let me give you some advice. Mind your own business. Leave them alone. Okay? This screams, and you know everybody always puts things in the best possible light. We're wonderful, and here's what this terrible person did. Everybody does it. I don't care who it is. Everybody twists it. I would do the same thing. If I got an issue, I'm going to tell you our issue, but
I've never experienced.
In the best possible light. You know, I would write, this is why I strangled Diane. I would make a reason for it to make it seem okay. Now, so they're writing this thing, they're pointing out this guy has these issues. But sweetheart, even in your email that I'm sure you tried every bit to make it look as nice as possible, still makes you look crazy. They
say he's so controlling.
They sound like you're controlling.
They are the ones that appear to be very controlling to me.
Exactly. Your email. That's the thing. Again, unless you're unusual, you wrote your email in a way from your perspective to where it seems as logical as possible. And here's the thing. Even us reading your words that you think is the most logical, the alarms and flags, she has to use the word flags. The flags here are going, da, 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 da. You guys have the problem. Leave them alone. Stop. You're going to make everybody's life miserable. Whatever they do with their finances is up to them. Well, what's the rules with fiancés? Shut up! Leave them alone.
You know what's interesting about that?
What's interesting about that?
That email is written, this is us versus her fiance.
Oh, do you think?
And you're answering, it's you against her, your daughter.
No. Leave them both alone. Leave them both. She needs to leave. They need to leave that couple alone.
I know. What's interesting is the parents never mention anything about what their daughter thinks.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. More flags. Da, 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 da.
Is your daughter saying?
She says the daughter defends everything he says and
So
does.
it's not against her versus this guy. It's her versus the two of them. See, that's how he's responding.
No, I get it.
What's interesting is in her question, I don't think she sees it that way. That it's me versus this guy because the daughter won't do what I want anymore. The daughter wants to do what he wants. That's the way that God set it up.
Yeah.
She's going to leave you, and she's going to join this guy.
And maybe they don't want
They're
that.
going to do things differently.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
This is a lady. You need to check your medication, man.
Because I would think nothing of it. My kid gets engaged. They want to start figuring out bank accounts, try to find the apartment, plan the wedding. I don't feel any need to have my hand in all of that, quite frankly.
But what does she say? I've always dreamed. See, this is a problem. These parents get in the way because they. Now, I will say this. One of the most common, everybody who gets married, the first thing I do is warn the guy, get out of the way. If I was talking to the boy, get out of the way because that mother has been dreaming for this girl's day. Let the women plan the wedding and the guy should shut up and get out. I think the guy's a moron, personally. But you can't control him. Just back off. If you can see you're making him mad, stop. It's their life. The fact that you have an opinion about what they do with their bank accounts is none of your business. Goodness gracious. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back with more right after this.
Want more of Mark? Visit markgungor.com. There you will find everything that Mark has to offer.
Fish won't bite and I don't care.
We're back on the Mark Gungor Show, final segment. We just had an email from my mom complaining about thinking that the fiance is going too far.
I don't think it's the fiance.
You think it's the daughter?
I'm guessing that this lady is really having a problem with her daughter. I'd be curious to find out, but I bet you the daughter is probably saying things to the mom that the mom doesn't want to hear. So mom says, I want to help you with your wedding, and the daughters maybe doesn't like the mom's ideas. I'm assuming, but that's what this show's all about, right?
Right.
Yeah, we assume all kinds of
Okay,
stuff.
good. I'm just making sure I remember the rules on this.
The rules, we
Assume
totally
away, my
assume.
friend.
So my
Assume
guess is
away.
the daughter does not want mom to maybe help. So it could be this guy could be such a jerk and super controlling and blah 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 and has the wool pulled over the daughter's eyes from the perspective of the mom. But it might also be that the daughter finally is feeling freeing from a mom who wants to control every part of her life, and so she's saying, "Well, Johnny wants to really help me with the wedding, and it's that evil fiance of yours."
Yeah.
So
It does sound, she's complaining about the controlling fiance. Honestly, sweetheart. Now, we could be wrong. All you people have to understand, we can only react to your emails. But based on what you said, you're the one that sounds like you're controlling. And everybody knows at some point when your kid gets married, you have got to get out of the way. You might as well start practicing now. Or you're going to become the evil, mother-in-law and always at war. You don't want to start out bad like this. Well, I don't think that they should join their checking accounts. That's none of your business. Well, I don't think they should do such and such. Again, none of your business. Well, I think they should do... Again, none of your business. They're talking about flags? Mm-hmm. Those are flags. There's all kinds of flags. And the flags are coming from you, my dear. Stop. What?
that was like a really reach for a reference there for song.
He just wanted to play it.
That was my flag song. Stars and Stripes forever, right? Everybody waves the flags. I have a flag. I don't like the way he does this. And I don't like the way he does that. And I don't like this. And I don't like that. And I don't like this and this and that. And I think they should do this and that. And the problem is them. No. The problem is you. Just quit being crazy. Leave them alone.
The grand old fag or flag.
The grand old flag. That was a slip. That was not a slam on anybody of
No,
homosexual persuasion.
I'm still just picking up the English language.
You should hear the show when it's not being recorded. All right. I think that's all we got to say.
Oh, man.
Say about that.
Language I speak, and I can barely speak that
That's
one.
right. We only speak the one language here, sort of. So anyway, I think she needs to relax. Listen, here's news for all you parents when your kids get married. They're not going to listen to you. It's not your call anymore. You don't get to decide stuff anymore. You can make suggestions, and what they do is up to them. And that's hard for some people to do. Mm-hmm. But if they don't learn to do this, you're going to have a long, miserable time with them. All right, God bless you guys. See ya.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.